This program is brought to you by First National Bank of Botswana.
FNB, how can we help you?
Good evening and a very warm welcome to First Issues. Girls and women living in poverty face a number of hurdles that hinder them from breaking the cycle from one generation to the next. Several cultures, for example, in this day and age, still consider education to be an unnecessary luxury for young girls and groom them instead for a life in the home serving their husband and their children. Many cultures even marry off their daughters in their prepubescent years. The lack of resources such as books, transportation, food, healthcare and more is also a monumental challenge to learning and development, especially for those in rural areas. Our guest this evening says witnessing poverty and the plight of rural women firsthand in her travels across the continent made her pause and reassess her growing career in the corporate world and look for ways she could make a difference. The problems are varied, complex, and seemingly insurmountable when it comes to tackling poverty. But she says when she learned that young women were being robbed of an education due to a lack of sanitary towels, she dedicated herself to finding a sustainable solution. Sherie de Wet has assisted 5,000 underprivileged children in the 1.5 years that her company has been in operation, making a commendable difference in the lives of the 1 out of 10 girls who miss school in sub-Saharan Africa as a result of their period and are most likely to drop out of formal education. Her solution also helps those who had resolved to using newspapers, scraps of fabric, and anything they could lay their hands on for their monthly cycle in order to make it to work or to school, risking many various infections and even possible infertility, simply because they could not afford a necessity that so many take for granted. What she has developed, she says, will not only positively impact disadvantaged young girls, but women of all ages and economic backgrounds. Sherie, what are Palesa Pads? Please demonstrate for us.
Okay, so Palesa Pads are reusable, washable sanitary pads. So as we know, we have a period every single month, yet we currently buy a single-use product, we use it for a few hours and we throw it away. Cloth pads are actually ancient, so let me show you how they work. So let's take our maxi pad, which is for heavy flow. So this is the absorbent side of the pad that absorbs all the blood, and this is the waterproof side that protects your panties from being messed with the blood. So if we take your pad, we put it into the panty like this with the waterproof side against the panty. We fold the wings over and we snap it closed. And for little girls who have smaller panties, they can just use the second snap like that. And then that's it. Inside you have a pad, which is what most people are used to, but much more comfortable than the disposable pads that we're used to. You can feel the fabric, it's nice and soft. It's what they use for sports clothes, so it doesn't chafe, it's breathable, it's comfortable, it's delicate on your skin. So the pad is entirely waterproof, so nothing will ever leak through it. The stay dry fabric that we use means you don't get a wet feeling, when the blood is coming out. You don't sit in a wet feeling. It absorbs very quickly and you feel like have a nice stay dry feeling. Because the pads have no chemicals, there's no smell, no irritation, so you can actually wear them for the whole day. You can wear it until it's full, for up to 12 hours. So when the pad is full, and you know it's full because you'll see it starts creeping over to the sides, then you'll know it's full. You just then unclip it again. The blood is dry, it's not dripping off. I know a lot of people are worried the blood's going to come dripping off like a horror movie. It's not. It's dry within the pad, and without touching any blood, you just fold it back over like that again, and snap it closed, and that's it, voila. And that's your pad. So you don't need an extra bag or anything else to put it into. The blood's not going to leak out of here, it's not going to smell at all. You take it just like this, put it in your handbag or your school bag, and you take it home to wash. So all a person needs is normal hand washing powder, whatever it is that you're using currently to wash your clothes, and some cold water. Please no warm water. And you use your buckets, you put your cold water and your washing powder in, and you put your pads in face down like that to soak for about an hour. When you take them out, there's almost nothing left. This fabric is so washable that there's just about nothing left.
This is a great innovation. I love the soft feel and everything. But how receptive have consumers, especially those who are better off financially, been to the concept of washing blood-soaked pads?
In Africa, however, we've had a terrible connotation with cloth pads. We've associated them with poverty, mostly because our grandmothers used to make us these lappies out of face cloths and all sorts of handmade things that slip around, and we associate it with poverty. And a lot of the pads that have been made, even the cloth pads, they're made as cheap as possible to help as many girls as possible, but the quality is not great. So there's this mismatch, and that is the gap that Palesa Pads sought to fill, is to say, how do we make good quality pads that are good enough for the rich ladies, but affordable enough for the village girls? Where do we find that gap? And it took a lot of work to get the right mixture, but I think we've arrived. So only a small percentage of our business is people buying for themselves. And again, it's a once-off product. So, you know, they buy it once, which is great. That's what I wanted for you, but now I need another customer. So from that perspective, our proceeds are not enough yet for us to sponsor the girls. So we are heavily reliant on big companies, organizations to come forward with the funds that they have to support the girls. So how it works is, we talk in Palesa Pads, we talk about the spirit of Palesa. And before I want to just tell you about the spirit of Palesa. So Palesa, as you know, means flower. Now, if you look at a flower bed, one flower on its own doesn't do much. It's not strong, it doesn't look very pretty, it's just on its own. But a bunch of flowers, a whole flower bed of different flowers growing together, supporting one another, is breathtaking. And that is the spirit of Palesa, which is the collaborative spirit. So we bring everybody together, non-profits, companies, anybody that wants to help, bring them all together, and we make it work. So for example, I will get a corporate who says, we've got a budget of X amount of money, we want to help some girls. Then I say to them, okay, excellent, these are all the options available. Do you have a school in mind? Sometimes they do. Sometimes it's the school that they went to, or it's one down the road, or whatever. Then it's perfect. Then it's a very simple process. You know how many girls there are. We've organized it. Here's the quotation. Please make payments, and we'll go with you to deliver the pads.
What's driving all this, Sherie? Is this a commercial venture or a social one?
If it was commercial, I would have given up a long time ago. I must be honest with you. I think a lot of people who look at this go, wow, this is a money-making machine. And I also thought, not that that's why I started it, but I also thought so, and it's not. It's really not, because your heart is in it. So this is, for me, it's social. Women empowerment is so close to my heart. I've been empowered since I was this big. And when I read this article about school, girls missing school because they didn't have sanitary pad, the penny dropped, and I was heartbroken. I just thought, how awful that something so natural that happens to us every month that you have no control over can be such a limiting factor in your life, that it can be the reason that you don't go to school, the reason that you can't write your exams, the reason that you get looked past for a promotion at work.
You clearly have a heart for social issues and development and empowerment. Are there any more ideas brewing in your mind that we can expect from you in the future?
Definitely. So in terms of the pads, we're actually planning to extend our entire range to breast pads, to maternity pads, even armpit pads. So many people suffer with sweaty marks under their arms, and that's so embarrassing. Where's the dignity in that? So now we can provide a reusable armpit pad to absorb that. Nobody has to see all your sweat coming out of your arms. Look, I have a couple of projects that I plan to do in the future with toilets and a village, and I've got lots of plans. But those, I need funds for those first. So we'll get there. For now, I want to focus on everything reusable: pads, nappies, breast pads, armpit pads. Anything that's embarrassing you, we'll take care of it with dignity.